So we have been kind of going through the chapter 9 on the wisdom chapter of Shantideva, Guides the Bodhisattva Way of Life. And then within that, there is a presentation of the emptiness of the self, emptiness of phenomena. And then we went through the presentation of emptiness of the person and also the emptiness of phenomena through the placement of full mindfulness. And then also the presentation of emptiness using different reasoning and logics. And Shantideva, we use the reasoning or the as Nagarjuna's one of the reasoning and logic that is analyzing the nature of the phenomena, whether the nature of that particular phenomena is truly existing or not truly existent, and then also analyzing whether the cause of that phenomena is truly existing or not truly existing, as well as analyzing whether the effect, result of that phenomena is truly existing or not truly existing. So using many different way of analyzing the phenomena itself, the cause of the phenomena, the result of the phenomena, and also one of the analysis whether the phenomena are existing by itself, by existing by others, whether existing by both, or whether it exists by not depending on cause. And so I think that is where the analysis whether this whether the conditioned phenomena are depending on cause or not, and through that then again establishing how conditioned phenomena are not truly existent. And so I think that is where kind of we are in, analyzing whether of the conditioned phenomena, whether they come to without cause, or even it comes from cause, but from unsimilar causes. And so I think that is where kind of we are. And I think in terms of the page number, we are in page number 142. And in terms of the verse, we are 141, where it said the summary, and so in that it says, therefore, when such analyses are made with this reasoning, so so far Shantideva has refuted how conditioned phenomena arises due to without cause. That has been refuted. Also, the idea that the conditioned phenomena are created by a permanent Ishvara, creator God, or that it is created by a permanent, Chizo, what was the word that was used? Chizo, the main. What is the English word? Chizo is the main Yeah, primary substance. Yeah, that is that primary substance that is permanent, created by that has been refuted as well. So with many different reason and logic. So that is where that is saying, with those reasoning, that analysis is made, and through that, no impermanent things, condition, phenomena, or impermanent things is found to exist with no cause. So all conditioned phenomena, all permanent phenomena, only come into existence by depending on its cause and conditions. Nothing can come into existence. All these conditioned phenomena, impermanent phenomena, can come into existence without depending on its preceding cause and conditions. So with many reason and reasoning and logic and analysis that has been established. And no individual cause or condition or assembly of condition is found. Also, neither all these condition phenomena are caused by some kind of permanent entity such as Ishvara, creator Ishvara, or primary substance. That has also been refuted with reason and logic. Neither the condition or impermanent causes, phenomena arises due to that kind of permanent causes, different kind of permanent causes. Also, that has been rejected, refuted by analyze, reason, and logics. So how does this condition phenomena arises or exist? By depending on individual and collection of cause and conditions. Okay, all the condition phenomena come into the product or into the existing only by depending on individual cause and condition and collective cause and conditions. And since they are depending on its individual and collective cause and conditions, therefore, for such phenomena, they depend on other factors, its cause and conditions. And since they depend on cause and conditions, therefore, they cannot exist truly or by itself or by its power. Okay? Because when something exists by depending on other factors, such as cause and condition, individual and collective cause and conditions, that means is dependent on other factors. Something that is dependent on other factors for its existence, that cannot exist by itself or truly existing. So that is where it's saying have exists, so therefore so therefore it cannot truly exist and do not come anew from anywhere or something else, in the beginning. So if we analyze this, so this is kind of the analyzing of, being product or coming existing at the very beginning and then remaining in the middle, at the end, decaying or cessations, so again, Nagarjuna does that kind of lot of analysis here. Shandeva does also that kind of analysis as well, generally when we talk about impermanent phenomena, conditioned phenomena, within the Buddhist schools, there are slightly different presentation of that. like the Babasika schools and Sotandrika schools, their explanations is that conditioned phenomena first arises or being produced. Once they are being produced or arises due to cause and conditions, comes into existence, then in the middle, they remain for however, from few seconds to many, many years, millions of years, some phenomena. And then at the end, there is decay, cessations, end. Whereas the mind-only schools and Madhyamika school, they says it is not like that. It's not that first being produced and remain and decay. The very moment it's being produced, that very moment it has decay. Okay? The very moment that are being produced, that very moment it has stopped. Cessation has already stopped, has decayed. So everything's decay by moment, momentarily. To our eyes, to our ordinary eyes and to our ordinary mind, it seems like the Babasika and Sotandrika looks more accurate, because that is how in our naked eyes, it seems things in being produced and then they remain there, for how many time, and then we see decay. Because we are seeing only the very rough, gross one, but on subtle level, all of those phenomena are being decayed at very, very moment. And it is just the continuity of that. It's not the same phenomena, it's just continuity. To our eyes, it looks like it is the same phenomena, but it's only continuity. It's not the exactly same phenomena, it's just the continuity. So anyway, so there is two from the mind school and Madhyamika school, then the moment that is being produced, that very moment is decaying. The very cause that produce the phenomenon, that very cause is the cause for the decay itself. Okay. So, but here, because some of the schools present as a being product, remaining and decaying in three stages. And also, we kind of, to our mind, it feels like there is those three stages, and so therefore doing that kind of analysis, So first of all, when we talk about something being produced, let's say sprout that is being produced by a seed due to many causes and conditions, the seed, the water, the heat, whatever, all the cause that produce the sprout, so that is the arising of the sprout, being produced by the sprout. And so if we analyze with the ultimate analysis, if we don't do the ultimate analysis, then definitely, due to many causes and conditions coming together, the sprout is being produced. And then through that, it affects. Because of the sprout, then it becomes a plant, and then maybe a tree or fruit plant and flowers and fruit, and but if you really analyze this, what is that being produced, So from the very moment, from the seed to the sprout, the protections, it is a many continuity of time of that phenomena. And if you see, is the first part is that the one which is being produced. Second part is that being produced. Third part, if you break into each of that, if you analyze each part, then none of them is the sprout that is being produced. Only through, So when you analyze, trying to really analyze with that kind of ultimate analysis, what is produced, then we cannot really pinpoint, we cannot really find it. And so therefore, there is no truly existing produce. There's no inherently existing produce. Same way, if we talk about, remaining or dwelling, what is remaining, Even it says remaining for, 1 second. Even 1 second is made of many milliseconds. Even that is made of many, many more smaller type. If you see each of those milliseconds, that's remaining. Or even you break that millisecond into smaller, is that each of them are remaining. Then again, we cannot pinpoint what is really remaining. If each of them is that, then we will say, there's a lot of remaining within one time because there's so many millimeters and so many other of that in terms of sprout, the remaining of sprout. But not all of them, and each of them is neither. It doesn't have that same function and same ability to remain without depending on other parts of that continuity. So then when we analyze that also, so-called the remaining is also not truly remaining, not inherently remaining. Even we say, what is cessations? I think cessation is when you say about decaying or cessations, when you see let's say, a flower, when it starts to decay during the fall, a flower when it's decaying or cessations, disintegrating, is decaying by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, millisecond by millisecond. If you say if you try, what is the decaying? Is each of those millimeters of that the decaying? Again, when you do that kind of analysis, again, you cannot pinpoint and saying this particular part of continuity of that small part of that is the act of decaying. And so the decaying also is not inherently existing, not truly existence, or independently existence. So we can only talk about being produced, remaining, and being decaying only in relation to many parts of the continuity, many conditions coming together, and then on the basis of that. And so therefore, all of them are not truly inherently existent. The product is not being able to be produced by itself because it depends on many other conditions, factors. Remaining is not being able to exist as remaining by itself. Decaying, not being able to decay by itself as a decaying without depending on many other factors. And since if they depend on other factors and conditions to produce, to remain, and to decay, that means they are interdependent. That means they are not inherently existent, not independent, not truly existence. You know, another way of analyzing is we can only talk about remaining in relation to something being produced and something that is decaying. If there is nothing being produced to begin with, we cannot talk about something remaining. Or if there is nothing that is going to be decay or cessation, we cannot pay remaining. We can only talk about remaining in relation to being produced, and there is a decaying. In between that, then we talk about that as an act of remaining. Do you get it? In relation to, at the very beginning, there is something that is being produced. At the end, there is something that is decaying. In relation to that, because they are being produced and decaying, in between, then we call it remaining. So so-called remaining depend on being produced at the very beginning and at the end be decaying. So again, that is where we talk about mutual depending arising last time. So remaining itself cannot exist by itself without depending on being produced and without decaying. And also, you know, we can only talk about, it's a similar kind of analysis Nagarjuna do on the time, past, present, and futures. You know, we can only talk about present because there is past and futures. If there's no past and future, we cannot talk about present. We can only talk about future because there is past and present. We can only talk about past because there is present. And without each of them, we cannot, they cannot depend by itself without depending on others. And similarly, it's same kind of analysis here. Something which is not being produced at the very beginning and remaining, we cannot talk about decaying. The decaying depends on being produced and remaining. Also, being produced means something that comes into existing, and then that's something that is going to decay in the futures. So again, produce means again, depend on decaying. In that way, then we understand, you know, when you talk about being produced, remaining and decaying, seeing that all of them as non-truly existence. Even to us, you know, and maybe it will come here. So yeah, that is where they are not produced in middle, they do not remain, and in the end, they do not go elsewhere upon cessation. So that is how then all these things which under such analysis, such ultimate analysis, are not established, you know, as non-truly existence. So they are non-truly, are not, although they are apprehended as true by confused mind, no different from illusions. So even though due to our ignorance, the confused mind, you know, due to our confused, ignorant mind, that mind superimpose to the objects as truly existence, project as truly existent to the objects. Even though there is no truly existing from objective side, but our ignorant, confused mind project the objects as truly existent, as inherently existence. and then grasp that way after it project and superimpose, and then it then we grasp as truly existence the objects. But in reality, there's no truly existing from the objective side. It is only projected by our confused mind, ignorant mind. Therefore, all these phenomena are like illusions. Therefore, all these phenomena are like illusions. In illusion, there is some appearance, but the reality is not the same the way it appears to our mind in illusions, you know. And so same way, all phenomena are like illusions. So basically, even though there is appearance of truly existence to our mind, even there is a grasping of truly existence by our mind, but that doesn't mean in reality they are truly existence. It doesn't mean in reality they are truly existence. Just because it appears to us that way, just because our mind apprehend or grasp that way, it doesn't mean that is the reality. Just like illusions, you know, someone who is not aware of illusions, there is appearance of certain, even there is not that objects in reality, due to some trick, magician trick, something, it makes something appear which is not there, and not only there's appearance, that person's mind think that is real happening and grasp it, but that is not the reality that is really there. It is just a trick. And so therefore, you know, all the time we have to remind ourselves, you know, whenever we encounter the object of attachment, object of anger, object of anxiety, object of jealousy, object of any of those, trying to remind, oh, all these objects are like illusions, not so real as it appeared to us, as not true as it appeared to us, but they are like illusions. And when you have a strong convictions, when you have strong convictions and feeling and strong conviction, they are like illusions. Then, you know, the object of your attachment, when you feel they are like illusions, then you have less grasping. When you feel your object of anger like illusions, then your agitations or aversions, anger is become less intense, and with any other, if we have some kind of anxiety, worry, fear of something, and again, whatever object that is giving rise to the fear, anxiety, worry, if we realize they are like illusions, again, that whatever emotion that we are going through, disturbing us, can be less intense, you know. So and they are not different from illusions, and in sense they are like illusions. They appear to be truly existence, okay, to our mind, our ignorant mind, whereas in fact, in reality, they are not truly existence, you know. And that is not just the Buddha said they are not truly existent, but with the reasoning and logic and analysis, we can see how they are not truly existence. So then establishing phenomena conventionally arising from the cause, you know. Whatever horses and elephants. So, you know, for example, even magicians through some of his trick. Even there is no horse and elephant, but he creates through that illusion, that kind of horse and elephant, through some kind of trick, some kind of magic, so have been made to manifest through a magician illusions. In that way, similarly, whatever visual. So just like that, just like the magicians create the illusions of a horse, an elephant, a bird, even though there is no real bird, no real elephant, no real horses, but through that magician's trick, he created that kind of illusions. In similarly way, whatever visual form and so forth, in whatever, for example, whatever form we see, experience, whatever sound we hear, whatever taste, whatever odor that we smell, whatever taste that we experience, food that we taste, whatever object that we experience in the body, all these, the object of the sense objects and all these phenomena also, so forth, have been made manifest by causes and conditions. All of them are created by cause and conditions. All of them are created by its individual and collective cause and conditions. And so all of those should be examined as to where they first come from, and where they abide in meantime, and where they go in the end. So the analysis that we already talked before, similar. So, so therefore, there is no phenomena that come into existence without depending on cause and conditions. There's no phenomena, condition phenomena, that abide or remain in the middle without depending on cause and conditions. There's no phenomena that go away in the end, decaying or cessations, without depending on cause and conditions. So all of that, all the phenomena coming into the productions at the beginning, in the middle, abiding or remaining, at the end, decaying or cessation or going away, they all depend on cause and conditions. And since all of them depend on cause and condition, the productions, the remaining or abiding and decaying or cessations, therefore none of them can be truly existence, inherent existence, independent existence. Here they all have same meaning: truly existence, independent existence, independent existence. Okay, and so therefore they all are dependent arising. Coming is dependent arising. Coming at the very beginning or being produced at the very beginning is dependent arising. Abiding or remaining in the middle is dependent arising. At the end, decaying, going away or cessation is dependent arising. So upon examination, they will not be found to be similar in not truly coming, going, and so, so they all are non-truly, even though to our mind, there's appearance of truly coming, or being truly produced at the beginning, truly abiding in the middle, and truly decaying at the end, but that is not the case in reality. And that such appearance is created by the magicians. That is like illusions, truly existing, coming, truly existing, abiding, truly existing, decaying. The appearance of that is like illusions, that has been created by the magicians of our ignorant, confused mind. So, like magicians create that kind of illusions, same way our confused, ignorant mind create these illusions of things to exist, truly inherently existence, and so. So again, analyzing the effect, or result will only be seen because of its being closely connected to cause. Anything, any result, any effect can come into existence in being connected to the cause, its cause and conditions, But without the cause, it will not be seen. Without the cause and conditions, without its individual and collective cause and conditions, that effect or result cannot be produced, cannot be seen, cannot manifest, cannot arise, So therefore the effect depends on its cause and conditions. And we can talk about something as an effect because something gives rise to it. The cause gives rise to it, So the effect is dependent on the cause. Since it is product of cause and condition, is similar to reflection and mirrors. So how can it have true independent existence? And so again, another examples, illusions or reflection in the mirror. The reflections of your face in the mirror, even though there is an appearance of your face in the mirror, there is no real face in the mirror. There's no real face in the mirror, even though there's a reflections of your face in the mirror, but there's no real face in the mirror. And the reflections is there because due to many cause and conditions. The mirror is there, the mirror is clean. If it's kind of obscure, then you wouldn't have that reflections. Or it is broken into pieces, probably you wouldn't have the reflections. So by depending on there is the mirror, there is the unobscured by the dust, unbroken in a way that it cannot reflect. And then there is your face. And then all cause and condition coming together, then it creates that kind of reflections. And there is that reflections, even though there is a reflection of your face in the mirror, but there's no true face in the mirror. Same way, due to many cause and condition coming together, certain result, certain effect, certain consequences is created due to many cause and condition coming together. But there is no truly existing effect. There's no truly existing or independent existence or inherently existing effect, consequences, or result. Just like there's no real face in the reflections in the mirror. Just like there's no real face, even though there is appearance of face, there's no real face in the mirror. Same way, even though their appearance or truly existing effect, result, consequences, but there is no truly existing effect, result, or consequences. All the effect, result, or consequences are not truly existing, but they are existing by depending on many causes and conditions, just like the reflections in the mirror. So, using different examples can be helpful for some people, some example connect with certain individual and certain example might not connect with certain individuals, and therefore Buddha used many different examples, like an illusion, like a dream, like a reflections in the mirror, or like a reflection in the clear water, like a mirage. Another example that Buddha gave, like a mirage, and so forth. There are like 9 examples. So anyway, so here you can see some different, and again we have seen trying to convey the same message, but Shantideva using different example at different time. Sometimes he used, in some verses, he used the example of dream. Then here he have used like illusions and like a reflection and mirrors, and so yeah, whatever examples help you to understand better, you can use that more. So then establishing emptiness, true existence from point of view of the effect. So he kind of examined from the point of view of the nature of the phenomena, from the point of view of the cause, and now from the point of view of the effect. What would be a need of cause for a thing that truly exists? If it truly exists, it will already exist, So again, as I mentioned before, truly existing, independent existence, inherently existence have same meaning, ultimately existence, absolutely existence have same meanings, And so if an effect or result is truly existence, then where is the need of cause? Because it is independent. Truly existence equal to independent existence. If the effect or the result is independent existence, where is the need of cause to the existence? If there is a need of the cause for that effect, that means it's not independent. It means it's interdependent, because it's dependent on its cause and conditions. Do you get the point here? Yeah, because if something is if the result effect is independent or truly existence, that means it will exist as it is all the time. And that means there's no need for cause for that effect, that result. If there is a need of cause, and if it's dependent on the cause, then it is interdependent. It is not independent. And if it's not independent, then it can't be truly existence. And what would be the need of cause for the result or effect, if it didn't exist at all, And if it didn't exist at all, then of course, then again, there's no need of cause, If there's no truly existence cause, if there's no truly existence effect or result, so then there is no need of cause as well, because it's non-existence. And if something is non-existence, then there is no need of cause and conditions for that, you know. What was that? Okay, yeah. If it didn't exist, it would not be effect of anything. So yeah, if it didn't exist, you know, so if something does not exist, then we cannot talk about it being an effect or cause. When we talk about something being a cause and effect, then we are talking about something that exists. If something does not exist, then we cannot talk about that being a cause or effect at all. And so therefore it can't be effect of anything, you know. And then objections, you know, although a cause cannot make non-existent arise as non-thing, it can change into a thing, you know. Again, thing and non-things here in Tibetan, the word is ngopo and ngopo mepa. And things here refer to conditioned phenomena, conditioned things. And non-things refer to non-conditioned phenomena. And non-conditioned phenomena does not have the functioning to perform and effect things, whereas conditioned phenomena has the functionings or the nature of performing and effecting things whatever ways, you know. So that is first. Again, I just wanted to kind of make that clear, because thing and non-thing, what does that mean? You know, it could mean anything, because the words is used, especially in English. I don't know how they, when we talk about thing and non-thing, how it is used. So I kind of wanted to, how it is used in Tibetan, that when we talk about ngopo and ngopo meba. And so then we don't get confused in the word itself. You know, sometimes we get stuck in the word itself because it has different meaning in this context and then different meaning in ordinary uses. And I think sometimes when we are unable to differentiate that, then we get confused a lot of time. And so then it is, this part I also find a little bit difficult, kind of the analysis and the refutation, rejections or refuting this, you know. Even by the means of 100 million cause, non-thing cannot be transformed into anything else because it's permanent. So as I said, non-things here mean non-functioning phenomena. That means permanent. Okay? Permanent cannot perform and effect things like the impermanent things do. You know, impermanent things, because they are dependent on cause and conditions, and because when there is change in cause and conditions, then it changes, it performs differently, and it affects differently, you know. So that is the conditioned phenomena or conditioned things. And so therefore, something that is permanent, you know, if something is permanent, no matter how many cause and conditions, hundreds or many hundreds and thousands and millions of cause and conditions come together, that permanent non-thing object cannot be transformed into something, anything, because it wouldn't affect that, because it's permanent. If that cause and condition affect that, and to transform it, if it transforms to something, then it has been affected by the cause and conditions. Do you get it? If something be transformed something else by cause and condition, then it has been affected. And if it is that, then it cannot be permanent, because it has transformed and it's a change. It has been transformed and changed into something else by cause and conditions. And so therefore, if something is non-thing here, which is permanent, no matter how many cause and conditions come together, it will not be able to transform it. It will not be able to change it. It will not be able to impact that and transform and change something. And so therefore, non-thing cannot be transformed into something, okay? Because it's permanent. If it were able to change, by cause and condition, even though it's permanent, non-thing, even though it's permanent, but if it's still by cause and condition, if you were able to change it, it would have to do either while retaining it non-thingness or through discarding it. So it should be able to transform either two way. If you transform it, either it or change it, either you have to retain non-thingness, which is permanent, or through discarding it, through overcoming that permanent non-things. In former instance, if it's by retaining nothingness, while it is retaining the permanent non-thingness, at the same time, if it's able to transform in something else by cause and conditions. So in former case, how could it be thing as long as its conditions remain unseparated from being non-things? So, thing means that condition things, as I mentioned already before. If non-conditions qualities, if non-conditioned qualities has retained and continue to retain and not being separated, how can that transform into something conditioned phenomena? It can't be. That will means that it is being both conditioned and unconditioned phenomena at the same time. It can't be. It's because it is retaining the non-thingness, that's unconditioned qualities or the phenomena itself. So it's still retaining that, is still not separate from that. So therefore is permanent and unconditioned things. At the same time, to say it has transformed or changed into something conditioned phenomena, so then it can't be. So then it will have that contradictions, Maybe we will have a short break. So, okay. So again, please feel comfortable to ask any questions if you have by writing it or by unmuting and asking directly. So then it continue in the second instant. So second instant is, if non-thing is able to change through discarding the non-things. So that is the second instant. What is there that could first separate from the state of non-thing and then produce to become a thing? This is an impossibility. That is to say, is to say it was permanent at the very beginning, and that permanent become impermanent. So first it is permanent, and then it disregard that permanent quality or nature, and then it transform or change into impermanent nature or qualities or things. It is impossible, something permanent to change into something impermanent. Transform into something permanent, objects or phenomena to change or transform into something impermanent object or phenomena. Furthermore, if the condition of non-things is not discarded, it will be impossible for a thing to exist at the same time. If it is not discarded, then it means at the same time there is permanent and impermanent. And so it can't be that. Within the same objects. We are talking about within the same objects, at the same time, because same object cannot be both permanent and impermanent. In these cases, when could a thing ever come to exist? So since permanent, cannot become since unconditioned thing or non-thing or permanent thing cannot become a conditioned things, or either by retaining that nature or by discarding that. And so therefore, how could things ever come to, how could a conditioned phenomena ever come to exist through that non-things, Also, further consideration should be made in the case of non-things becoming a thing upon having first discarded the condition of non-thing. Without actually becoming a thing, non-thing cannot be separate from the state of non-things. So it cannot be separated if it doesn't become things, conditioned phenomena. And if it has not become separate from that state of permanent or non-thing, it is impossible for state of existence to arise, again, as already mentioned, because if it is not separated from that non-conditioned phenomena qualities, then how can there be transform or change into a conditioned phenomena, because conditioned phenomena and non-conditioned phenomena are opposite, contradictions, and the same object cannot be that. Similarly, a truly existing thing do not become a non-thing upon cessation, because it will observably follow something one nature would become twofold, both thing and non-things, as mentioned, because they are contradictions. Thing and non-thing, or conditioned phenomena, non-conditioned phenomena, permanent and non-permanent phenomena, In this way, in this way, when it analyzes, there's no truly existing. In this way, when you analyze this, there's no truly existing thing that is being produced. There's no truly existing that comes into existence or arises or being produced. And if there's nothing that is truly existing object or phenomena that is being produced or come into existence or that is arising, then there is no cessations. Then there is no decaying, disintegrating, or end or cessations. Okay? to something to come to cessations, decaying, disintegrating, or come to end, it has to be produced, it has to be existed, it has to be arised before. And since, in this way, when there is no productions, truly existing productions, or arising or existing, therefore there's no cessations, production, truly existing things. And if there is no productions and cessations, then we cannot talk about a conditioned phenomena. Conditioned phenomena can be only established on the basis of coming into the existing by cause and conditions, and then coming to the end, disintegrating, decaying, or cessations. On the basis of that, first coming into productions and then coming to the end. That is how the conditioned phenomena, conditioned things are established by that. So if there is no productions and no cessations, then we cannot establish conditioned phenomena. So therefore, there is no truly conditioned phenomena, and so that is why it's saying.
Geshe, I have a
Yes,
question.
yes, please.
Can you give us an example of something that is unconditioned, something that is permanent? I understand that space might be an example, but are there other examples of things that are permanent?
Yeah, in some of the Buddhist studies, they present, existing phenomena and non-existing phenomena. Within the existing phenomena, there are permanent existing phenomena, non-permanent or impermanent phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
Within the impermanent phenomena, then there are three categories. Physical matter is one category. Non-physical consciousness is another matter, another impermanent. And then there is a impermanent phenomena which is neither the physical matters, neither non-physical consciousness, and that is such as the person.
Okay.
When we talk about person is a impermanent phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
But permanent is neither physical matter, neither consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is one example of within the impermanent. So then they break into these three categories. And then when you come to physical matter, then there are, forms and all of that. Mm-hmm. When you do consciousness and, the primary mind and mental factors and so forth. So when it comes to the permanent phenomena, as you said, space is giving one of the examples of permanent. Mm-hmm. Emptiness is giving example of permanent. And Dharmakaya is example of permanent. Also cessations. There are two kinds of cessations, and natural cessations, which is mainly the referring the emptiness, is permanent. And so those are the example of. So for example, when you talk about space, why is permanent? Why is giving an example of permanent? Even though space could change in a sense that in my cup, I have more water now, there's less space. I drink it a little bit, now there's more space. So within the room, There can be more space when you have less things. As you stack up a lot of things, there's less, it change the space in the sense that there is less or more and like kind of things. But the nature of the space, it doesn't change by changing cause and conditions. It's always space, nature is same. Unlike like the book, you know, depending on its cause, conditions, you know, depending on what kind of paper it is, depending on what kind of ink it is, depending on what kind of, so according to what that cause and conditions, the book can change. It can be heavy, it can be lighter, it can be more easy to access or less, by depending on cause and condition, the nature of the book changes. So all the impermanent phenomena, when they change by changing its cause and conditions. In a space, it's not like that, you know. So when we talk about space, even though maybe, I don't know, even though we use the space, the word space, I don't know whether it is the same idea when you use the space in English word, the way it is presented in the scripture. The definition of space, when we talk about space in the Buddhist, from the Buddhist point of view, we call namka, you know, and that is, the space is now I think maybe it becomes even more complicating.
I've heard it translated as lack of obstruction.
Yeah, that is so yeah, maybe yeah, like as you said, maybe keep it more simple. I think that is more simple. Otherwise, it become more technical and more complicating. And so space is a merely absence, something that is a merely absence of or lack of abstractions, something you cannot abstract by anything, you know. So that is so yeah, so that is and same with emptiness. For example, if we say talk about emptiness of book, when there is a book, there is emptiness of the book. When the book is destroyed, the emptiness of books is no more there. Since book is not there, the emptiness of books is not there. You can't talk about the book being truly non-truly existence or non-inherent existence, because there's no book itself. Right. So when there's no book, there's no emptiness of book. When there's book, there is emptiness of book. So again, it changes, you know, in that way. But the nature of that it is empty of truly existence, it doesn't change by like the change by cause and condition. And right. So in that way, then that the change, there is no change by its cause and conditions, and so therefore is permanent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. So I think yeah, that is kind of technically I think that is what yeah. And so we are talking about the productions, and since there is no production, then there is no cessations. And since there is no production, no cessation, then there is no condition phenomena. And so that is where it is. So therefore, all things never have truly existing birth or productions, nor a truly existing cessations or decay, you know. And they are pacified of truly existence, they are lack of truly existence, pacify or lack of truly existence from the very beginning. So the truly existence, non-truly existence of phenomena is not like that. It was truly existent at one time, and when we analyze, then it becomes non-truly existence. Do you get it? It has the nature of all phenomena has been non-truly existing from the very beginning. Unlike like book, you know, it is here now, but I can throw it and then there's no book here. Book was there at the very beginning, but there is no more there. Now it has been thrown away. Or the glass was there at the very beginning, now it has been destroyed. But it is not like that. The nature of phenomena, which is ultimate nature of phenomena, which is non-truly existent, non-inherently existent, is from the very beginning. And so it is not that at the very beginning there was truly existing and later it became non-truly existent. Do you get it? Either by destroying by something, some object like destroying a glass, or either by destroying by your, your analysis or mind. But the nature of the phenomena has never been truly existing from the very beginning, and it has always been non-truly existing from the very beginning. And so that is, I think, important to remember and realize that sometimes it feels like, oh, it was truly existing before, but because of my analysis, now it has become non-truly existent. What it means is now we are being aware of that through that analysis. Through that analysis, now we are being more aware, recognizing that. It was not like it was truly existing before, and now through our analysis, through our contemplation, through our meditation, that now it becomes non-truly existence. It's not like that. It has always been non-truly existing, but we are not aware before. We didn't recognize that. We are not aware of that. But now through some analysis, through contemplation and meditation, now we are being aware of that, recognizing that, understanding that, realizing that. And by the nature of a state beyond sorrow, that means is not truly existing from the very beginning, a state devoid of true existence. So the next one, all those sentient beings appear, to our mind, to our ignorance, truly existence, but they are not truly existent. When you see objects of your attachments, whether it's your partners, friends, family members, children, there's appearance of truly existing my partner, truly existing my children, truly existing my families, truly existing my enemy, truly existence, stranger, whatever different sentient beings appear to us. There's appearance of, truly existing close friends, truly existing, distant, disliking peoples, and so forth. But even though it appears to us that way, in fact, in reality, there's no truly existing close family. There's no truly existing object of aversion, enemy. There's no truly existence of indifference. There's strangers and so forth, and they all are like here again, like a dream, In the dream, you dream about something, let's say flying. You dream of flying, and there is appearance of flying, but you are not really flying. It's only just a dream. you know, or in the dream, you are being chased by someone, and there is appearance of being chased by someone in your dream, but there's no one really chasing you. It's just a dream, just appearance in your dream due to certain causes and conditions. And same way, you know, even though all sentient beings appear to us as truly existence due to certain causes and conditions, because our imprint and ignorance and so forth, but there is no real, truly existing persons as it appeared to us. So they are like a dream. So again, reminding ourselves all the time, dream, you know, when we have a strong aversions to someone, strong disliking, aversions, anger, hatred, you know, there's a very strong appearance of that person being real mean. And so if you can remember, oh, it's not as mean as it appeared to me. It's not as true as it appeared to my mind. It's more like a dream. Even though to my mind, to me, even though it appears as such a mean and unkind and cruel and that, but that is not as mean, as cruel as it appeared to my mind. Not as true. And the moment if we, just by reminding us, it will not just go away reduce your feeling, you know. But if you have true meditation over the time, if you are really strong convictions that is really untrue, unreal, really like a dream, then your emotions, immediately the moment you are able to remind and aware that it's like dream, then your aversions, anger, hatred, disliking, aversion will subside. It will become less intense. But to reach to that point, you have to do meditation over the time, a lot of time, and really have convictions and feel that. Sometimes we do that analysis, but you don't have the convictions, feeling, you know, it is just repeating the word. It's like a dream, it's like a dream. You are just repeating a word. Then you don't have some effect. Then when you are just repeating a word, then it is not going to affect your emotions, the anger, the hatred, to become a less. So that is one to remember, you know, like when we see like many like dream, then as it said, is supposed to kind of, when you are able to see that, supposed to subside, reduce those emotions, and then sometimes we do it and we don't see, oh, nothing's happening. My anger, dislike, aversion didn't decrease. It only sometimes even increase. Because it's almost like repeating the word, nothing more than that. There is no real conviction from your deep of your heart, from deep of your mind, that is really like a dream. You are saying it's like a dream, but you are really thinking. Your conviction is so real. Your grasping is so real. Your holding is so real. And to reach to a point where you don't feel so real and so not so true as it appeared, and as a really like a state of dream, then, you know, we have to do that, repeat that meditation, contemplation again and again and again, until we started to feel really strong convictions from depth to heart. And when you have that convictions, strong feeling, and then when you are able to remind, oh, it is like a dream, then immediately, then it has certain positive impact. And same thing when you have a strong attachment to persons or any object, you know, again, we are very attached to that because, again, to our mind, it appears and seems it is so real, so true, But again, if we can remind, oh, even though it appeared to me so truly existent, so true, so real, but it's not like that. It's like a dream. That thing, that object doesn't appear the way it appeared to my mind in reality, but it's more like a dream state. And then again, your attachment decreases. Again, same, to reach that point, you need to have that strong convictions, feeling, through repeated over the time of contemplation meditations. Without that, we just say it's like a dream. It doesn't really have any change in your mind because it is just like a repeating a word more than anything else. So and since they are found to have no essence upon analysis, so when you analyze, all the phenomena, all the object of our attachment, all the object of our ignorance, all the object of our anger, all the object of our jealousy, all the object of our, pride, arrogant, all the object of our egoistic mind, when you analyze them deeply with that kind of ultimate analysis, there's no essence. Before we do deeply analysis, it feels everything, all these objects feel so real, and therefore those different emotion arises. All these objects appear so real. Because they appear so real, and we believe that, then those different emotions arises in relation to the different objects. But if you analyze each of objects, what is that object? Where is that object? Within each basis, within its parts, you cannot kind of pinpoint, you cannot locate, become less and less unclear, become less and less unreal, become less and less unsolid, concrete. Nothing to hold on, nothing to grasp on. So then you see essenceless there. And when you see essenceless and nothing to cling on, nothing to grasp on, then your emotions, whatever emotions, started to decrease, become lessened. Because there's no object for that emotion to cling on, grasp on. When it feel there is a strong object to cling and grasp on, then the emotion become more concrete, more strong, more intense. The moment that emotions, whatever different emotion, when they find there's no object to cling on and grasp on, to hold on, then the emotion itself started to become weak, lessen, less intense, and eventually, slowly, overcome it completely. They are also like a planted tree, so that is what essenceless means, planted tree. Plantain tree, I don't know what in English, I think in Tibetan is like, is it banana tree? Same, yeah. So it is said that in the Buddhist scripture, they give example. In banana tree, they said with the stem, they cannot produce same banana with the same stem every year. Every year it comes from different stem. That is one of the examples. Also, if you cut the banana stem, is very unlike like the woods, which are that you can use for different things to make furniture and like that, and where is a heart and all of that. The banana trunk or the tree does not have that kind of essence, So therefore, sometimes the banana tree, poor banana trees, is giving example of essenceless. And therefore, in their being empty of true existence, there is no difference between the state beyond sorrow, which is nirvana, and state beyond sorrow, the nirvana, and state not beyond sorrow, samsara or cyclic existence. So then, in emptiness, so when you analyze with such deeper analysis, ultimate analysis, neither you can find the samsara, neither you can find the emptiness, nirvana. And therefore, in emptiness, there is no samsara, there is no nirvana. Ultimately, there is no samsara, there is no nirvana. So in emptiness, ultimately, since there is no samsara, and so there is no nirvana, we shouldn't be attached to not only samsara, neither we should be attached to nirvana as well. And so again, the way the Buddha's presentation and teaching is so, profound way. First, he leads through how all the phenomena are not empty. All the samsaric phenomena and samsaric itself and samsaric experience and so forth are empty of truly existence and therefore essenceless. Therefore, we shouldn't be attached to any of them. And therefore, we should get out of samsara, free ourselves from samsara and achieve nirvana. And then saying, even the very nirvana that you are trying to achieve itself is not truly existence. So also don't get attached to it itself. So not only samsara is not ultimately existent, also nirvana is not ultimately existence. It is a so to let go of grasping and clinging to even the result, even the highest result. In that way, then letting go of all the clinging and grasping. Clinging and grasping to not only negative object, but also letting go of clinging and grasping even to the positive objects. And at the end is to let go of any clinging and grasping by recognizing, by understanding everything, samsara to nirvana, all of them lack truly existence. They are devoid of truly existence, inherently existent, ultimately existent. none of them are absolute, their existence. They all are relative. Nirvana is possible because of the samsara. And there is samsara because there is nirvana. When you talk about samsara, we are talking about unenlightened state. And we can only talk about something being unenlightened state in relation to something that is enlightened state. If there is no enlightened state, we can't talk about enlightened, unenlightened state. We can talk about something enlightened state in relation to there is unenlightened state. Again, mutually dependent arising. Samsara and nirvana, how they depend on each other. And so with that, in this, then Shantideva presenting, the dependent arisings by depending on its cause conditions, depending on its parts, mutually depending through those dependent arisings, because of dependent arising, how everything is empty. Because of emptiness, how everything is dependent arising. So understanding those two, dependent arising and emptiness, understanding the meaning of emptiness as a dependent arising, understanding meaning of dependent arising as an emptiness. And so that is the key so that then we find a middle way without falling in one of the extremes. And that is why also in Heart Sutra, form is emptiness form. So first, form is emptiness, empty of inherent existence, independent existence, and then emptiness is form, and the form that is dependent arising, the empty of independent arising is because form is empty, which is empty of inherent independent arisings, and therefore is a dependent arising. So emptiness form, because it is empty of independent arising, therefore is dependent arising, therefore form is possible, therefore there is form. And so understanding that, so I think that is the point that the Buddha make. Nagarjuna, Shantideva, Lama Tsongkhapa, they all come to with their experience. So to really not to hold on the words, the emptiness, and then believing that there is nothing at all, which tend to lead to misunderstanding. So I think with that, then we today conclude here.